Hello everyone, I hope you can hear me right. Okay, so what I'm going to try to show you quickly is what I propose to be our new or a way to charge multiple clients in one trip. So let's say we've got three clients, client A, client B, and client C. Okay, now each of those clients have stocks. Okay, let's put client B as well. They have stocks in one of our trucks. And each of those, well, we can look at the weight, the total weight of each client stocks, weight, the volume, and the value. So let's put the weight in kilograms. Let's put the volume in cubic meters, and the value in pesos. Okay, so the reason I'm doing that is because for every truck, the resources that are being used are the volume, the weight, and the risk. The higher the value, the higher the risk. These are the resources that we are allowing, or that we are charging our clients for. And I believe that it should be according to these resources that they should be charged proportionally. Now, if you look at the spreadsheet, let's say client A, or let's say the truck has a capacity of, let's say, 2 tons. So that's 2,000 kilograms. And let's say it's 3 cubic meters. And of course, whatever the risk, we don't know what kind of capacities yet, if that can be said. So the weight of, let's say the weight for client A is 300 kilograms, client B is 400 kilograms, client C has 800 kilograms, and A, 2, client B has 100 kilograms. Let's say this 100 kilograms is not so big, 0.3 cubic meters. Client C, this 800 kilogram one is kind of heavy. Let's say 0.3 cubic meters as well. This 400 kilogram one, let's say it's 1.5 cubic meters, so we're up now to 2.1. And let's say this 300 is 0.8 cubic meters. Peso value, let's say that this heavy one that's not so big is let's say it's 800,000 pesos. Client B, say this is 200,000. Let's say this is 500,000. Sorry. And yeah, and let's say this guy is 300,000. Okay. So I can now look for the total for each. That's the total for each type of resource that we have. Now for these types of resources, you can see now for each client how much of each particular resource in terms of percent are they using. here we have, here we can see that, for example, for each client, what is the most used resource? Okay, it's the using 600,000. For client A, we can see that he's using, so yeah, the highest percentage of any resource share for him is 32%. Again, that's weight, volume, and value. For client B, it's volume. For client C, it's by weight. And for client D, it's by value. Okay? So let's say whatever truck this is, let's assume we know what kind of truck it is, and we know we have our minimum rate. And let's say that minimum rate we have for whatever particular zone it is, or kilometers, crew, what other data. The point is we've got a minimum rate, and let's say that minimum rate is 6,000 pesos. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, hey, client A, you've used the kind of stocks you have, and given this delivery shows that you're taking the most of in terms of value, in terms of your stocks. So we're gonna charge according to that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna multiply 32% times that minimum rate. Okay, so this is just the first level. Okay, this is not the final price yet. So okay, now for client B, let me do the same thing. For client C, the same thing. It's weight. You got the heaviest stuff. You got your pretty heavy stuff, so we're gonna charge you according to the weight of your product. Your sharing of the weight. And since client D's got pretty valuable stuff, we're gonna charge you according to the value. So here we have all these amounts. But the tricky thing is, if you sum them all up, it's way beyond 6,000. It's way beyond the minimum rate, and that's kind of unfair. Or, yeah, so people are gonna complain about that. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's where I intend to make a proposal. I'm going to look at the percentage of each of these weighted billings according to the new billing. So for client A, it's this 1,800 something divided by the total 8,000 something. Okay. Here you got 21%. So on and so forth. And now with this new layer, I can apply this to the minimum rate. And if I apply it to the minimum rate, I got a new layer. So let's do that. 21% times the minimum rate. This is now pesos. Rate distribution. Weighted billing. This should be the rate for each billing, supposedly. However, because it took so much work to get all this data together, I'm going to charge a co-loading fee. And I've spoken to Convoy and to Donga about this. Donga is very open to it, but Donga likes it. Convoy wants to see the comparison between this and our current billing. So let's say it's 20% co-loading fee. Let's just say we don't know yet. I mean, we have to maintain IT systems to capture the data required and maintain the software required to come up with these distributions on the fly and to present the data properly. So I'm going to charge a co-loading fee. Here we go, co-loading fee. So what we're going to do is the co-loaded rate is the minimum rate times minimum rate plus the co-loading fee. So now, instead of 1,800, it's the guy is gonna pay 1,000. Client A is gonna pay 1,525.02 for his shipment. For client B, it's 2,000. I mean, instead of the whole minimum rate 6,000, we saved the money already by doing away with billing. And by this using the co-loaded rate, we even save them more because we make it proportional to the cost of the trip. Now, if you look at it as a percent of invoice value, see what happens. Divided by. What this shows is they're really not paying much. But this is one way we can have some sort of minimum charge, minimum co-loaded charge. If you like, you can say minimum co-loaded charge or current ad valorem rate, whichever is higher. We could do that kind of thing. But at least this protects us from charging too low. And if you look, of course it will sum up. Instead of our 6,000 peso minimum rate, this is now our income for that trip, simply because we manage their information in a way that could proportionate that could distribute the billing proportionately across different clients. Okay, let me know what you think. Thank you very much.